Hey everyone, and welcome to Variant Roles. I am your host and Dungeon Master. Wow, it's been a while since I've said that versus Game Master on screen. MadSide DM on Twitter, Dan Gaston, and we are here with a new exciting level of Dungeon of the Mad Mage on our community streaming series. This is level 21, Terminus level, and I'm excited to play with some people I haven't played with before and some new people to Variant Roles. And I'm going to kick it over them to introduce themselves, and I'm going to start in my upper left with Morrigan. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Dan. So I'm Morgan at the FemGM on Twitter, and I will be playing Ava today. They them pronouns. And they are a hired assassin, rogue ranger, and also a little bit of a hedonistic party queer by day.
Excellent, excellent. I love it. All right, let's continue down in the bottom left with Steven.
Hey, I'm Steven, brand new to Variant Roles, first time showing up here, and today I will be playing Fish the Sneak, a tiny little Kenku rogue who steals anything that isn't nailed down. He's a good boy, though. Never going to get anybody in trouble.
Never,
Can't
never.
can't see.
Stealing things in Undermountain is like never a problem. Why would anybody care about taking gold from like evil dark things in dark dungeons?
They're not going to miss a handful of it.
That's
I'm a
right.
small bird. I have tiny hands.
Excellent. All right, continuing around in this counterclockwise direction with Tim.
Hey, I'm Tim at Anonymous on all the social interwebs, and today I'm playing Alistair Ironmane of Clan Ironmane. I'm a towering Beely Wally Minotaur who, he wears naught but a kilt of protection, and he's here to protect the rest of the party as we go through this dungeon.
Excellent. I love it, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, and finally, last but not least, in our upper right, we have Star. Star, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty great. I'm at MadRadStarChild on Twitter, and today I'll be playing Opal, a Tabaxi bard / warlock spy.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, this is a good group of people. And so you, as 4 adventurers who have been exploring Undermountain and all of the chaos that has been happening here over the last little while, have made your way deep into the depths of Undermountain. From what you hear, perhaps only 1 or 2 levels from Hallister's lair itself to an ominous sounding level named Terminus. And as you have descended into the depths between levels 20 and 21, you have found yourself following a minecart track twisting down into the depths. And all of the, you're following the main passageway, but periodically there's spur lines going off east and west in all directions where it's clear that this was at least at one time an active mine. Broken mine equipment, rusted and covered in cobwebs, litters everywhere. There's a fine layer of rust over these particular tracks as if they have not been used in some time, and you do not hear any of the sounds of mine work. But as this levels out into a dim, sort of widening anteroom almost, leveling out onto this level, and you can see the remnants of dwarven stonework covering the walls of this part of the mine. With a tunnel sloping away at this intersection, you are briefly given the glimpse of a spectral figure appearing in the middle of the room. A middle-aged human cleric clad in the remnants of Torm, wildly waving a mace that is glowing with a spectral and eerie light at an unseen foe. The breastplate is streaked with blood, covered in clotted gore. And then suddenly, as she pulls her mace back for another swing, her head is suddenly sliced off and tumbles to the ground, followed by her body, which then fades away into a spectral mist.
Yeesh.
That's not spooky at all.
Okay, that's
Everyone else just saw that, right?
aye, that's one way to lose your head. Aye. Well,
Fish just makes like dog whimpering noises. No.
That's an ominous way to start.
well, let's.
I'm behind the Minotaur's leg right now.
Don't worry, laddie. Let's go forward a wee bit. It'll be fine. Absolutely fine. This is nothing but a grim portent. It'll be fine for everyone.
I sure hope so.
Don't worry. Everything's gonna be fine. Let's just continue onwards. Nothing bad can be ahead of us.
You say that now.
So in this room, several passageways all seem to intersect, although two of the corridors are more prominent than the others, sort of leading off in opposite directions, along with sundry other side passageways. The floor is a little bit wet and muddy, and you can see actually that there are a few tracks in it, and you can hear this faint drip and splat of some liquid falling from the ceiling and trickling down the walls. A faint breeze kind of blows by, carrying with it the faint scent of sulfur.
Should we go toward the sulfur smell,
Silver
or
means
should we go away from it?
I'm gonna go check and see what it actually is, in case it's, anything dangerous. So I'd like to go investigate what that liquid is.
Fish nods and agrees with the big guy. Follow the smells of shinies.
So, following the sounds of dripping liquid, you come to a section of the wall with what appears to be a thick red liquid oozing out of the stone and dripping heavily to the ground below.
I take my finger to the wall and lick it.
The coppery taste of blood fills your mouth.
The wall's bleeding. Definitely not a bad portent.
Dan, I'd like to expend a ranger spell slot to use primeval awareness so
Okay.
that I can find out if there's any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, phase fiends, or undead present within.
It's like a mile, 6 miles, something.
It's 6 miles if I'm in my favorite terrain. Is this considered Underdark?
This is more this is more
Okay.
like regular underground as opposed to the Underdark. So it's a mile, I think, then.
Yeah, a mile
So-
then.
Still obnoxiously large for like a dungeon level. Basically covers the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, and remind me again, does primeval awareness tell you numbers and location, or just whether they are or aren't present?
It just tells me the type if it is of that type. It does not reveal creature's location or number.
Okay.
So it just gives us an idea of what we're dealing with.
Right. So aberrations and celestials, fiends, all of that. Yeah, you get a couple of pings. There is one like celestial signal, sort of in the general direction of where the breeze is coming from. But it's not quite right. There's something wrong with it. It's hard to put your finger on, but it's not as bright as it should be. It's almost like that light that you would expect to see for like a celestial source on your ranger radar has had some sort of filter put in front of it. And in the vaguish direction sort of nearby, you actually get the signals of 4 fiends as well.
What are you getting on the old noggin detector, Ava?
Yeah, no, I just kind of tell the group that I'm like, well, that way there's some like celestial, but it's like, I don't know, they're probably on something. And then that way is some like not so happy fiendy dudes.
So a not so happy fiendy dude or a celestial on something, that's, well, it sounds like we're stepping to a rock in a hard place, really.
Well, those were
Yeah.
actually both in the same kind
same
of
direction?
same general vicinity, not clustered together. The fiends were sort of spread out.
Okay. There's at least 4 of the fiends, and they're kind of all in the same direction, but I think the celestial's further away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All bad. All bad. All bad.
No, don't worry, Fish. Don't worry, it'll be fine. We're absolutely bonny. Guaranteed.
Can I don't know if this would even work, but like is there a way that I can like roll like Arcana or Insight or something to like determine whether or not the I guess corruption on the celestial sense would be like this is a being that needs our help, or it's something that is like dangerous?
That's a good question. I am always in favor of trying things like this, even if it is off book. I think so. You're trying to sort of interpret a weird magical energy. I think Arcana seems appropriate.
Okay. 14?
It's definitely as if it's sort of like an oil slick on top of water. It's this like faint trace of some sort of taint over its, you know, inner light. It definitely would make whatever this creature is dangerous, but that doesn't mean that it is not also something that might need your help.
Okay. I kind of share my insights with the group, and if we want to go down that route, I think we should just follow the breeze, but there might be some fiends in our way if we go there.
I'm sure it's nothing we can't handle.
That'd be fine. Not a problem.
Real quick, is this bloody stuff that Tim tasted, is that coming out of the wall or just splattered on it?
Nope, it's definitely you. Now that you've been watching it, it was literally oozing out of the wall and like running down. The drip you heard is like some of it's dripping from the ceiling. Now that you've spent some time here, other places in the walls you occasionally see it, but it also starts and stops. Like while you're there, sometimes like some random bit starts bleeding and then stops.
It's just a bleeding wall. It's not a problem, really.
And crossbow. Just.
Tell you what, laddie, do you want a bit higher up? Do you want a bit of a perch?
Down here, good.
Are you sure? Because I can put you on top of my shoulder so you can see what's happening and get a good advantage on things.
Actually. Like fly? Yeah.
All right.
Just scrambling up.
Yeah. And just so you got a wee bit of light, I'm gonna cast the light cantrip and have my horse glowing.
All right.
His little goggles of night on, and crossbow.
Aren't
That
you
is just
too
like
adorable?
the perfect image. There's just like this minotaur with like glowing horns and a Kenku on top of him with goggles.
Just out of curiosity, because how tall is Tim?
Oh, I'm Alistair's 7'4".
You're about 2 of me.
Alright, even better. You know, a nice albino minotaur with red eyes and glowing horns. We look ultra menacing, don't we?
Now Fish is kind of into it. Now that he's up high.
Hey,
He's feeling a little bolder.
I think let's head homewards, I think. Towards whatever we see and encounter. And
Kill whatever we see.
and more than likely kill.
Kill.
Sound.
I'm game.
Let's do this. Ah,
I need to be significantly more high for this. And I pull out some like leaves from like a small pouch and just start chewing on them.
is that some baccy you got there?
You want some?
Hey, I know. To try new things in a deadly dungeon with like, bleeding walls. It's not bad stuff, actually. I must say.
Excellent. All right. So you're headed in the general direction of the breeze, like where the source of the breeze. Is that correct?
Hmm.
Hey,
Okay. All right. So you start moving your way through, and fairly quickly the mine tunnels, along with their tracks. You see the occasional like ore cart sort of stopped on the tracks. Very Donkey Kong-esque, but rusted and all of that. Which then sort of starts giving way to worked stone of dwarven manufacture. So you move away, you kind of leave the mine carts and tracks behind, and move into what appears to have been a former like dwarven stronghold. Sort of still following the general like main corridor. You periodically have like mostly empty rooms that you pass. Anything that was once stored in them, when you quickly peek at them, is just rubble and detritus and nothing much of interest. But then you start to hear the sound of voices drifting from the corridor in front of you. Who here? Does anyone here speak? Let me just double check here.
Are you speaking here? I heard.
Yeah, so who speaks, I guess, either Dwarven or Undercommon or both?
hey, speak Dwarven.
I speak Undercommon.
Okay. All right, so the two of you both catch words and phrases that you recognize, but only in bits and pieces, interspersed with words you don't. As if whoever is speaking some sort of patois that is like a mix between Dwarven and Undercommon.
Great. Can you understand half of this? Because I'm only getting like half the conversation.
Yeah, same here. Which half are you getting?
Probably the half you're not getting. And what half, and what, I'm not getting half it. Are you getting the half I'm not getting?
I don't know. What languages do you speak?
Well, Dwarvish.
Okay, I'm catching some Undercommon in there.
That's probably the bit I'm not getting.
Yeah, so I
Let's
guess we're
compare
gonna try and
notes.
parse it out. Like,
Yeah,
Let's just,
I'd say whatever they're speaking is probably about 80% Dwarven, but it's a different dialect. So if Alistair isn't familiar with Dwargar, say, then he probably it's like someone speaking a different dialect than what he is used to, and then it's like littered with undercommon phrases, most of which are of the like expletive variety.
Gotcha.
right.
Run a little pizzazz in there.
and it's also faint, so you're only catching bits and pieces regardless. Yeah. But it sounds like two people having a bit of a conversation and doing like soldierly complaining. There's a lot of like complaints about the higher ups on the chain of command just don't understand what it is to be a common soldier down here, and what are we doing serving, and that kind of thing.
It sounds like these laddies aren't having a good time, but should we go say hi?
Yep. Scout first.
If we can talk to them.
Well, between all of us, I'm sure we can have a nice conversation. And if not, we can crush their heads.
Fair point.
Their heads.
Or stab them, or mutilate them. One of the. We got many options.
All
Shall we
right.
continue?
Hey, let's go.
So how are you
Let's
going to
go.
make your approach? Openly, stealthily?
I'm actually gonna hop down off Alistar and sneak up as quietly as possible.
Okay.
I'd
I-
like to also be stealthy.
All right.
I'm
The
I think I'm
34 on
also
fishy
going
stealth.
to be stealthy since it seems like Alistair is probably the best at communicating with them, and despite being a Minotaur, is probably going to be the least
yeah.
of the group.
I stick out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stealth up and kind of have my have like a dagger at the ready to throw just in case things go awry.
Okay.
I'm gonna hand back a bit and cancel the lights on my horns.
Yeah.
It's stealth, but kind of badly, hiding behind a minecart, and obviously I'm there. Kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. Excellent.
Do you need stealth rolls, Dan?
Yeah. So the other three of you, why don't you guys go ahead, or you folks go ahead and give me some stealth rolls, please.
Just do the math. I think it was 34.
Okay.
Mine's a 30.
Okay.
28.
28. Excellent. We're dealing with level 16 characters here, folks. So we
Just
get
for the hell,
into
just for the hell of it, 11.
Excellent. All right. So Opal, Fish, and Ava melt into the darkness, stealthing ahead of Alistair, who's hanging back. And I'm assuming Fish as the rogue is probably taking point on the scouting.
Yeah.
All right. So you eventually make your way forward, peek around the last corner, and can see that there is a dimly lit room ahead, and you can see two what you assume are female Dwergar, most notable just by the lack of no beard. But these two gray-skinned dwarves, bald, that are armored. They've got crossbows. They have sort of heavy short swords belted at their waist, and they're sort of standing guard, flanking the corridor, and just talking with one another. You see one sort of take a break and reach into a pouch and juggle some dice and say something to the other individual, but it is in Dwarven.
Is there a higher vantage point or somewhere to just take a shot, or not take a shot, take a spot and just wait for Alistar to come through?
So it's a basically the rooms here are only 10-foot high ceilings. So it's pretty standard, being in a building essentially. So there's not really much in the way of high perch vantage points. There's some mine carts and stuff like that. You might be able to find a little bit of cover to get a line of sight, and do that.
Oh no, I'm gonna parkour into a minecart and just sit down there with the hand crossbow, waiting for stuff to go down.
All right. All right. So being super stealthy already, you kind of wait for the moment when two guards kind of turn towards each other, so it's not line of sight right down the corridor from them, and just flip into a minecart and are just waiting, ears ready to see what you hear.
Okay.
What about Ava and Star? Alistair's back the hallway, so he still doesn't know what's going on.
Do they look like they would be hostile toward us?
They're just standing guard. Now you, Opal, you probably, given how much time you all have been spending in Undermountain, if you didn't know it beforehand, you've probably learned a thing or two about Dwergar. Yes, Dwergar are known as a bit of tyrants, but they are also a very lawful society. So if they're standing guard, they're probably not going to shoot first and ask questions later. They're going to ask questions first and then maybe imprison you later, depending on how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think until they do something actively hostile, I'm gonna just kind of hang back and watch.
Okay.
Can I still see Alistair?
Yeah, like I'm assuming you sort of made your way as far as you could. Where if you go around this corner of the corridor into the next one, you'll be seen. You'll be in plain sight. Um, Fish kind of did like a little stealthy dash into a minecart to get into that corridor, but unseen. You could take that approach as well, and Alistair's back behind you.
Okay. I'm going to telepathically communicate with Alistair and say, I think you have the best chance of actually being able to converse with these folks. If you want to join us.
I'll do that. Not a problem. I can do that. So Alistair's going to take out from his platypus sporran a nice wee cask of ale. And he'll come down the tunnel drinking it and singing, "You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road. I'll be in Faerun before you. Where me and my true love will never meet again. On the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Faerun."
So the two guards like swing around towards you as you sort of stumble into the road, level their crossbows.
Hey,
and they
lasses! Oh yeah! Do you want to bevy with me?
Hey, hold, big man, just
Hey!
wait.
No worries. I've got a bevy if you want some bevies with me, lasses. It's nice ale. It's from the homeland. You might like it.
They sort of look at one another. Make a persuasion check.
Okay. That's 19.
Okay. And one of them turns to the other and says, Nisha, it's been so long since we've had ale. Perhaps, we sample a little. And the other one's like, all right, Cavalra. One drink. All right. Horned one.
Hey! They call me Alistair. And nice to meet you, Nisha. Was it Kevar, was it?
Cavalra, yes.
Kevara. Nice to meet you, lasses. Here, do you have a cup or a ale flask or anything?
Oh, and they sort of rummage around, and they've got their kit, and so they pull out like basically a soldier's tin cup.
Okay, that's a tiny drink. That's not a Minotaur's drink. You need to have a couple of these, lasses. Just stop pouring into their glasses and drinking a swig for myself.
So they let you pour, and they sip the ale, and one. Oh, that is good brew. Haven't had a good brew since we left Gracklestock and came to this godforsaken place.
How long has it been?
It's been months since we came here in our exile with our leader.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for you. Like, if I may ask, what are you doing out here all on your lonesome? I know you're soldiers, but this seems a little bit of a crappy situation to be posted to.
You're not lying, friend. You're not lying. We came with the prince, and we were here working, setting up this mine, and well, then that big ass fallen giant green guy came and took everything over.
Fallen giant green guy?
Hmm.
Talking about a giant or an ogre, are you?
No, some sort of celestial from the higher planes, but with a giant greatsword and really, really likes to kill things.
Hey, he sounds like a bit of an ass, to be honest.
Hey, you don't gotta tell me twice. We don't exactly like this. I mean, we're Dwargar. We are a strong and proud people.
Hey!
And we should be ruling, not serving.
I drink to that, lasses, no problem. Then just saying, I I've got a few wee friends back there. Would you mind if I brought them forward? They won't attack you, I promise.
Of course. Look, we're guarding here. We are going to have to take you to Voltagar. We're under orders, and we, as much as we like to drink, we can't violate our orders.
I understand that. I understand that entirely. Just, we're not going to attack you. We're all friends here, right?
As soon as Alistair kind of gives the okay for the friends to come up,
Get over.
Ava comes around the corner and is like, "Are you drinking without me?"
Hey, get over here, lass. Bring that backy with you.
And
Nice backy.
yeah, and she asks, "Can we get another round before we head in?"
Hey, they've got a wee bit left. Let's just put it up for one for everyone.
Yeah.
Is it just the one, or anyone else? And they sort of shout down the corridor. Come forward.
I'll go ahead and come out.
When he's
Common?
pouring the drinks for the Dorgor, I want to sleight of hand my poison into their drinks.
Okay. So to answer a couple questions, so yes, Opal, you pop out, and we'll deal with that first. So you just sort of approach the group.
Yeah, I join and say, "Hail and well met."
Okay, and so they'll greet you. To answer Fish's question, the conversation between them and Alistair was entirely in Dwarven. So peppered here and there, but then they sort of, I think Alistair probably would have said something in common about coming forward, and when they yelled down the corridor to come forward, they would have spoken in common.
Having no idea about the friendliness of the conversation beforehand, then Fish just sort of jumps out of and perches on the edge of the minecart, handcart ready, yelling in Alistair's voice, "Crush their skulls!" And then
No.
And they're lifting their crossbows.
No. We're all friends here. We're not gonna have a fight. We're gonna have a drink.
All friends here.
All friends here.
No reason to be antagonistic this early in the day.
Exactly. We're
Sort
gonna
of lowering them back down, and they greet Opal again, and they're like, "Kavalra, Nisha,"
Opal.
and they're getting their drinks refilled. So Ava, you want to sleight of hand some poison into their drinks. So why don't you give me a sleight of hand check, please?
Absolutely. That is a dirty 20.
Okay. And all right. So suppose I should get my dice out. I'm so used to mostly running other games that where I don't roll any dice. Okay. And what poison is it?
It's the potion of poison.
Potion of poison. All right. What kind of saving throw do they have to make? Constitution?
Okay. It looks like if you drink it, you take 3d6 poison damage, I think, and you must succeed on a DC Constitution saving throw, or you're poisoned. So they're going to take damage regardless.
Yeah. Okay.
With 23 passive, did I see her slip it in there?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm game for this. Fish ready. Crush
All
their
right.
skulls.
All right, so they pass their saving throw because they are dwarves, so they're resistant to poison. Yeah. Well, they're not resistant to poison. Sorry, they are. They have advantage on saving throws against poison.
Yeah, so they're not poisoned, but they do take 3d6.
They will take the damage. So why don't you go ahead and roll the 3d6?
Okay, so that's 12.
Okay. All right. So... All right. So they sort of take a drink. They take a long drink and like put the cup down, and then the two of them just look at each other and like clutch their stomach in pain and sort of cough, which spews like a thick blood out of their mouth, probably splattering a few people that are in front of them and like trickling down their face onto their armor. And they just yell, "Tricked! Tricked!"
Oh my gosh, are you guys okay? Can I roll deception? Like, what happened?
You can try rolling deception.
This is crap wine.
Okay. 22?
Okay. So their hands grab their short sword and they pull them. Actually, well, they had their crossbows in their hands. Some of you presumably are in point blank range, but they're gonna swing those up anyway, and I need you to roll initiative.
I tried.
Oh, thank God for advantage on initiative. Went from nat 1 to nat 20.
I had a nat 20 as well.
I had a dirty 20.
19.
All right. So the two of you that had nat 20s, what's your final score, Ava and Fish?
25.
25.
Okay. And which of you? So you have the same dex?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna flip a coin. All right. I'm putting Fish first, and then Ava, and then all right, and then we've got Alistair, and then Opal. All right. So Fish, you were the first to go as you see them swinging these crossbows up in the general vicinity of whoever is closest to them. And as they do, as sort of violence enters the air and these crossbows come up, you can hear a faint music begin to permeate the air. What are you doing?
I don't like that. I'm not liking that for one. But I guess I will take a crossbow shot at the close. Am I within melee of them?
It's
I didn't
totally up
approach
to
as
you.
close.
How close did you get? That's totally up to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been as close because I came in last as to everybody approaching.
Sure.
So yeah,
Yep.
I'll take the shot. That's another nat 1. That dice going away.
All right, so your hand crossbow goes off, the bolt goes wide, and the music rises as the sound of an unearthly and unholy choir begins to echo through the space.
I like it. Bonus action to dive back and hide in that mine card again.
Okay.
That's better. That's an even 30.
All right, so you get cover, you duck in, down behind, and into the minecart. And Poisoner Extreme, Ava, what are you doing?
Okay. All right. I am going to, since I'm in melee range of them, I'm going to pull out, yeah, I guess my short sword. And I get advantage because they haven't taken a turn in combat because of Assassinate.
Okay.
So that's gonna be on the first one a 25 to hit,
Which will definitely hit.
and then a 26 for the second one.
Which will also definitely hit.
And then that's 1d6 plus 5 plus sneak attack. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 damage for my first attack.
Yeah. So you stab Caravella in the throat, and she goes down with a gurgle.
She just dead?
Oh yeah, you stab her, and she's like, and falls to the ground.
Okay, and then I take my second attack on the second one, and that is a 27 to hit. And then I don't have advantage on that one and can only use sneak attack once per turn. So that's a 11 damage.
Okay. All right, so you deal a horrific wound on the second one, and she is quite startled and appears to be in a little bit of shock at this quick turn of events. And it is Alistair's turn.
Right, I'm gonna go. No, Kivala! I'm gonna rush forward and pick up Nisha in my arms and go, Lassie, where do I take you to get healed?
All right.
Tell us there now. I will protect you.
Roll me a persuasion check.
That's a 15.
And she's sort of just in a bit of shock. Wow, that's a nat 1 on her insight check.
Tell me, lass, where do we need to go?
She's just like the lieutenant's office, and is like pointing behind her.
I'm gonna rush that way.
All right. So Alistair starts running with the wounded but not dead Nisha in his arms. Opal, what are you doing?
Well, that was an interesting turn of events. I'm just going to let Alistair take her. I'm not going to attack.
Okay. I don't know exactly what Nisha does here. I think she cooperates, but she is like, she's baffled. She doesn't know what's happening. You were under attack, but now you're taking her to get healed. And she starts yelling, Caravalla's dead. I need help.
I'm helping you.
And so you enter a sort of room in behind, where there are several Dwaragar, and what appears to be like an office off of the room with this like heavy stone desk. And
was there a door?
To go through between the two?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. There was totally
Right.
like some sort of flimsy door.
Just for feature, can I just bash through?
Yeah.
Medic!
So the door slams open. There's like a group of Dwaragar who were like playing dice and like seated around at these little tables, and they sort of look up in surprise. And one of them does the immediate, like the table that they were at that has remnants of food and drink on it, sweeps it aside, and he's like, "Put her here! Put her here!"
Aye, lad! Aye! I got you, Nisha! I got you!
Fetch the priest! Fetch the priest!
Fetch the goddamn priest!
And he sort of hustles off, and Nisha's like rolling around in some degree of shock, and bleeding copiously. And a dwarf pushes himself out from this office room, and this like stone desk, and he has this tall helm on that's like bristling with spikes, and something is like hinged up, like a flap sort of thing that you could pull down. And he comes out into the room. He's got sort of a bigger belly that the armor strains against and is like hanging out over his belt. And what are the rest of you doing as Alistair like dashes away with this wounded guard?
I'll follow, but not like in a hurried manner. I'll walk.
Ava's gonna try and this almost definitely won't work, but we'll see. She's gonna drop the bloodied short sword at the scene of the crime next to Kavala, and she's gonna run after Alistair. And she's gonna burst in, and she's like, "Some maniac just killed your guards!"
All right. All right. So you all descend in this room in sort of a fury. What are Opal and Fish doing?
Fish is confused. I thought it was crush their skulls time. Apparently not. So he'll just sneak up, stay hidden as much as he can to just peer through the door and just ready a shot in case things go south.
Okay. Opal.
I'm gonna calmly go in the room and go over and take Nisha's hand and hold it and say, "It'll be all right."
All right. And so as like the violence kind of had died away, the choir, this like singing music, faded with it. The Dwargar who appears to be in command starts immediately asking what happened. And Ava, did you say you come into the room yelling about
Yes.
some maniac killed the guards?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll me a deception check here.
That is a 26.
Okay. So the problem is Nisha sort of immediately starts talking about poison, and then Cavalra was stabbed.
Calm, Nisha, calm. No, save your
She's
strength.
in shock, I think.
Save your strength. Like, just gonna brush her hair back and go, don't worry, lass. Save your strength. You need it, lass. You need it.
I mean, she's still, because it's not like she was at 0 hit points, but she's pretty badly hurt. But the cleric sort of comes in and starts like tending to her, and she still sort of seems to be insisting and pointing towards Ava that this one stabbed her. But the dwarf in charge just sort of hooks his thumbs into his big belt and looks at you and goes, "Right then. So what's all this about?"
We were just walking by, minding our own business, and decided to have a drink with, your guards, because they seemed like they could use a pick-me-up, and some crazy person just came up and attacked us. We got over here as fast as we could, but we couldn't say Cavalra.
Cavalra.
We couldn't save Kavala.
Yes, terrible tragedy. And Nisha, poor dear, is in shock.
I smell something mighty fishy about this whole thing.
Oh no, that's just Fish.
You don't. I'm still hiding.
Oh.
Yeah, back in the
I'm
corridor.
too confused as to what's happening.
So yeah, so the voices faded away from you, Fish, into this other room, and left you hiding in the minecart.
Oh no, I crept up to just
okay,
peeking around through the door.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see everyone sort of gathered there.
Yeah. Mini shotgun at the ready.
All right. So the dwarf continues and he says, "You know what? I wasn't even expecting to deal with anything like this today, and I feel like this is the kind of thing that really the prince should deal with."
Hey, lad, I back this prince of yours. I mean, Nisha and the wee babe Kibala was telling us about this giant green celestial dude you've been having problems with.
Well, problems is an understatement with that mad, giant tyrant of a celestial. I
Hey.
hate. Voltigar was born to rule Gracklestug someday.
Hey,
And to see him reduced to doing the will of this mad creature fills me with nothing but rage.
As you
I
should.
am a
As it should
proud Dwargar. We rule, we are not ruled.
so just as out of curiosity, if we should perhaps help aid your efforts in restoring Vertigar to his rightful position and getting rid of this foul celestial monstrosity, I'm just saying, we're available. No Dwargar lives need to be lost needlessly against this green tyrant from up on high.
Well, my orders, and I always follow my orders,
Of
are to
course.
take any adventurers or people who enter our territory that we were assigned as part of this Mines to Hold to Prince Voltigar.
Hey, I'd love to go meet the lad myself. Would you like if he gave me party and adventurer and companions could come with us?
Well,
As friends, of course. We're not here to cause you harm.
I think that what we should do is escort you and your companions, all of your companions, to Prince Voltigar and let him sort this out.
Is it okay if I get them together? Because, not all of them speak like the deep dwarvish like we do.
Of
that-
course.
All right, just give me like 5 minutes just to have a conversation. Is that okay?
Of course.
You're a blessed saint, laddie. Blessed saint. And I'm just going to turn around and approach the rest of the party. Go, right. Let's not kill these lot. Is that and we can, killing, like, in common, not in Dwarvish, in common.
You quickly notice that Fish isn't there. Ava and Opal are there. I mean, you don't
Hang on.
see your little feathered friend.
Fish!
Peeking around from the door.
Come sit by me, laddie. We got to plan something. It's fine, they
Narrows
won't
by-
kill you.
And just hubs forward, still trying to stay as hidden as possible, but he'll join the group at least.
Alright, I put my arm around him just so they know they're fine. They're fine. I got you, laddie. They're not gonna harm you. Right. Ava, did you poison her?
Maybe.
Alright.
Nodding.
I appreciate that. Oh, okay. I appreciate the effort. And I know we want to kill things. But there's no honor in killing Dwargar. Anyone can kill a Dwargar. But killing a celestial tyrant? That? I like the sound of that.
Are we getting paid?
Wait, well, they want to take us to yonder prince. And he's a prince that's been pushed down by this tyrant. So imagine if we restore the prince to his rightful place. We might get a bit of coin. Or more.
It certainly wouldn't hurt to have the favor of a prince.
Hey, I know, right? What do you think? Though, would you rather, kill loads of things? Or would you rather get renown with a prince of a land and coin?
Preferably killing lots of things and getting renown and coin.
And we can do that by killing their enemies. And
Also, getting really high while doing it.
hey, we can do that. We got the baccy, we got the ale, we can get some stuff off these lots are just manic.
Okay, I'm in.
Right, what about you, Opal? You in as well?
Yes, of course.
Come take a swig.
I'd love to be friends with a prince that will hopefully become a king.
Even better. That's 2 that's 3 out of 4. Fish. How about you?
Coin.
That's 4 out of 4. That's sorry then. I'm going to go around to the man in charge and go, we're in agreement. Let's go see your prince, lad.
All right. And so he sort of basically just barks like form up to some of the other Dwergar in the room, and they sort of, form a box kind of loosely around you of guards, and sort of beckons you to come with him, and goes out into a main corridor that he goes down. You can then start hearing the like pounding of like a working forge and bellows and other related equipment coming from sort of off to your right. But then he ducks into a door that he hammers on, waits a moment, and then there's a come, and he opens the door and steps in and just says, "My prince," and sort of gestures, and you hear a bring him in. Alistair's the only one, I guess, who understands this because it's in Dwarven.
Let's go in.
And you're sort of
Remember, respectful. He is a prince and might be paying us.
So you're escorted into a room, a 15-foot high chamber covered in these interlocking stone tiles that cover the wall and floors. In one back corner of the room is a 10-foot tall, what appears to look like a Dwergar, but made entirely out of iron, as if it is some statue and it's just standing still. Dozens of iron masks made to look like fearsome dwarven warrior faces are covering the walls of the room. And there's a low double bed in one corner, but in the very middle is a locked iron strongbox on top of a low marble table flanked by 2 stone chairs. And then seated behind another desk is a Dwergar male. Well, actually, you're not entirely sure, other than the general shape and size, because the individual is wearing a black robe with the hood and cowl pulled up so that it obscures his face. And he appears to be reading a large open book that Alistair quickly recognizes is a spell book.
Hey, greetings, my prince. Prince? Is he a prince? I just want to be courteous and make sure he's alright. Like, give a nice bow. I see you're beyond the spell book. Anything good in there?
He closes it and sort of slides it aside, sort of steeples some fingers to look out over, looks around the room, and then speaks to you in common. So, I'm gonna guess you're the adventurous sorts?
I'll give it away.
Well, the fact that you're a mismatched group of individuals from widely assorted places on that blasted surface that you call a home, and appear to range from a mage to, well, let's just say a whole bunch of shifty looking folk.
Very astute of you. Very astute. So, we've heard you got a problem with the Celestial.
Well, that depends on what we consider a problem.
Well, you're a prince who's not a prince in his own land, if what I can gather. That's a problem in my book.
Well, my current standing in Gracklestug is, let's just say, neither here nor there. But my people do chafe at the bit, I believe, is an expression that comes from the surface about our current position.
So, and I know as a leader of your people, you want to see your people freed from the subjugation of this tyrant. Aye.
I do. I would like nothing more than to rule over this level of Undermountain, operate the mines as I came here to do, and send the wealth back to Gracklestug and repair my position there.
Even better! And I'm sure you don't want to waste your people's lives in trying to get rid of this tyrant.
No, we brought guards to deal with the sundry beasts that Hallister Blackcloak occasionally unleashes on this level to protect our dwarven miners, so we can make this an industrious piece of the Gracklestug economy.
Even better! Every good foundation of society is formed on the industry of mining.
Look, the king promised jobs. Jobs to the people we shall give.
Aye, that is a grand plan, my friend. Grand plan. So, this Celestial, what do you know about him?
Well, he is of considerable power. His name is Phasrian. He was summoned by a cleric, and cleric with an adventuring group much like your own, who summoned Phasrian to aid her and her party while they were, doing what you do, kicking in doors, killing things, taking their stuff in this cesspit that Hallister has created, which nevertheless is a source of vast riches and wealth. But I think that killing all those things for so long broke something in Phasrian, and he became consumed by his bloodlust, turning on the cleric, killing her, and installing itself as the lord of the deep mines here.
So, when you say he killed the cleric, chance, did he lop her head off?
He did indeed. He took that rather large and pretty greatsword of his and cut off her head.
Hey, that... we think we saw something coming in like that. Like ghostly visage and all that stuff.
Yes, he rarely leaves its throne hall, where it prefers to sit in judgment of those who come before it. And he has, I believe, kept the cleric's corpse as some sort of grisly memento.
He seems like a nice fellow then.
Well, the only person he takes as advisors right now are 4 Yugoloths that Hallister has sent him.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Yugoloths, they're like the demonic things advising a celestial.
Well, as I said, Phasrian is broken.
Aye.
Something dark has twisted up, and he has fallen from whatever grace he once held.
It's so disappointing when good lads are taken away and led astray by few little miscreants.
2 of these Yugoloths are a thorn in my side, as they have occupied the nearby shrine of Ludiger, who is the Dwergar's patron, probably our perhaps most important god.
Hey!
They're currently posing as priests of Ludigar, and this blasphemy makes my people very upset.
Would it be as a show of if you'd like us to take care of those 2 Yugoloths to show our aptitude before we take on assisting you with putting you to your rightful place. We may be able to prove ourselves by taking at least care of that for you, properly compensated, of course.
Of course, I am all too happy to pay you for your troubles. And of course, the standard keep what you find in the process also applies.
Now, just a quick thing on how we're being paid. We can be paid in installments, but I am an industrious type like you. So I'd like, paying my compatriots. I'd like an investment in your industrial society. I'd like to help you long-term in your mining operation and have a bit of sustained investment, if you get my drift.
You want a cut of the pie?
Aye, but not so much of the pie that there's no pie left for you.
I am sure we have several of our mine foremen that are contractually minded that I think could negotiate something reasonable with you.
That sounds reasonable to me. It does. So these quick one question about this Yugolovs.
Mm-hmm.
You say they've been posing as the priests of Ludgar?
Yes, indeed. Aximus and Exocharis.
Aximus and
It apparently amuses them to pose as priests.
Now that's just not right. You don't go messing with people's faith like that. The foul demonic stench.
I agree.
Is there any way you'd like to particularly dispose of these arseholes?
No. I am sure, of course, that dealing with them and removing them, depending on the length of time we were talking about, would eventually become suspicious, and word would reach back to Phasrian. These advisors were provided by Hallister, so I am sure he will become aware of their demise at some point. But Hallister is a little, let's just say, scattered in his management style of Undermountain.
Not as good of a manager as you.
He's not very hands-on. Well, he is, but sporadically so.
Aye. So, whereabout would these said Yugolovs of the priests who are impersonating would they be?
Oh, well, the shrine is nearby. It is within our section here, so we tend to mostly avoid it and not use it for the worship that we would actually prefer to use it for.
Well,
there is one of the Yugolovs, Raxus, never leaves Phasrian's side. It's always whispering into his ear. The other,
yes,
Zindalus, tends to roam.
Hey. So, as if it's at all possible, I think, me and the party would like to go dispose of these fake priests for you. If as long as we have an understanding, we're not gonna harm any of your people.
Well, if you can deliver on this, and of course, all that I ask is, should you fail or succeed in this task, but fail to depose Phasrian, then, as long as nothing blows back on me, which is easy enough to ensure, I'm satisfied.
I think between us all, we can say we have no idea what part of this you're involved with.
Well, even in this section of the mines that we have taken over, there's so many nooks and crannies and secret hidey holes that stealthy, sneaky individuals such as yourselves could
Hey,
have
this
crawled through.
this conversation nae happened. Is
So
that
what
you-
about the rest of you? And he sort of pointedly looks at everybody else.
Fish has just been dead-eyed staring at that chest you mentioned this entire time.
It's like this big iron strong box with like a heavy, heavy set of padlocks on it.
And yeah, like when he asked the question, finally looks over, confused, didn't hear
Oh,
the word.
and the spell book that he closed, that's now closed in front of him, is like big, right? Like giant book. The cover appears to be made out of solid mithril. So it's also pretty shiny.
So much shinies. Just hands twitching like,
Ava's kind of antsy, and she's just like, I'm just ready to kill things, and just like kind of pulls out a couple more leaves and starts chewing on them.
He's looking at Opal.
Well, I'm sure one day you hope to become king. And
I do.
when that happens, because it will happen, I would hope that you remember any favors that we have carried out for you.
He sort of like, he pushes back the cowl to reveal his bald Dwergar head. And of course, the beard was hanging out over his robes. And the right side of his face has sort of like flash burns on it. And he just leans forward. Oh, I never forget the favors done to me, or favors owed. I never forget a debt, and debts are always repaid.
Excellent. Well, I'm happy to depose these so-called priests and take down Fazrian while we're at it.
Hey, so we're all in agreement then, eh?
I just copying Alistar.
All right.
Right.
Well, do you need anything before we show you where the shrine is?
I'm just going to ask, do you have any drugs?
Yes. Yes.
And some good ale. Like this ale I think has gone off.
Ale we can procure. Ale and wine we have in plenty. Anything else of a stronger mind-altering substance is strictly forbidden, and all of my soldiers know that to be caught with it is a death sentence.
I just
So I should hope
wanted to
not.
ask. I just wanted to ask, that's all. But I need some new wine.
That we can provide. And he sort of gives orders in Dwarven, sort of yelled out the door. And, after a few moments, you sort of hear some people bringing supplies, and there's like small casks of wine and ale and stuff that they have.
Even better.
They throw in some like iron Dwarven rations and stuff like that as well.
Aye, that's even better, even better. Now, do you have any like keys to doors?
You won't find anything between here and the throne room for sure locked that I would have particular access to, and handing over keys, should you be found and fail, would be a dead giveaway.
Well, how about those nooks and crannies you were talking about?
The thing is other than the general guard doors that the guards have, which aren't going to let you into anything much anyway. Everything else is kept strictly by me.
Hey, that's a good point. Well, right. I'm just gonna go around the corner and fill up my wine satchel and get back into my spotting.
All right. What about everybody else?
Yeah,
I have everything I need.
Yeah.
Okay. So the guards sort of what they do is they're going to escort you probably part of the way, but then just give you a general description. But they basically give you directions to where the shrine is. And they also tell you. So the shrine is sort of just outside of where you encountered the guards initially. So basically, you take, instead of taking a right, you take a left, and you would come to where the shrine is. And the shrine is also off of a large room that they call the Grand Vestibule, is nearby, that then gives direct access onto the, or not direct access, but would eventually lead into essentially the throne room where Fazrian is. So that would be nearby as well.
Ayo. Right.
I'd like to be sneaky.
Yeah. As soon as the guards leave, into the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try, but I don't think it's gonna do well for me.
Oh,
Actually, no, it did good for me. It did good.
28.
Okay.
31.
Excellent.
Wait.
Sorry.
Before everyone does this, I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace.
Even better.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so
38.
38, 41.
32.
32. Okay.
34. With a
34.
nat 20.
All right. So after the Dwargar guards sort of leave you, and they leave you sort of the end of a long stretch of hallway and indicate that there's a door about halfway down, which is opposite sort of like a T intersection, that gives entrance to the shrine. So it's like a doorway. There's not really there's a door, but it's probably open. They say that the priests, and they give air quotes, like to keep it open, even though nobody ever comes into the shrine. But that there's a narrow doorway that opens up into a room that has been converted into a shrine.
Do we see anyone in there, or is it empty?
Well, so you've left off in the hall, you're creeping down, and then yes, the question would be whether you poke into the room or not. There is probably no way to look into the room without being seen by any occupant unless they had their back to you, because it's a doorway on a hallway and then a room. So you might be able to peek around the corner and get a quick look without being seen. But just a quick peek of a fairly narrow scope of the room.
Are we Scooby doing this? Just all of us poking heads around the side.
Yes.
Scooby-Doo, so the Kenku's head pokes out, and then Alistair's at the top.
Oh my god, I just realized that if this is Scooby-Doo, that Alistair is Fred.
Heck yeah.
I mean,
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I don't know if Alistair could stealthily peek around a door, because his horns
And I'm big, white, albino Minotaur.
Yeah, that might be a little difficult.
just to see if we could draw them out. Can I try something with my mimicry?
Absolutely.
Of just trying to mimic the sound of Durgar footsteps and they're talking. I have no idea what I'm mimicking, but just random words. See if that gets them to come out.
Okay. So you do that, and then a sort of sonorous voice, very much like the Dwergar voices, and speaking in Dwarven, just calls out from the room, and it just says, "No matter how much wealth and power you have, it's never enough. Please, come and worship Lordagar with us."
Before we go in, I'd like to cast True Seeing on myself.
Okay.
At where level is that? At 6th level.
Okay.
So get I have the ability to see things as they actually are for the duration. The creature has true sight, notices secret doors hidden by magic, and can see into the ethereal plane, all out to a range of 120 foot.
Okay. Excellent.
I'm gonna walk in.
So everyone else has like quickly peeked in and just see this like smoky, hazy room that have like braziers lining the walls and flickering with light. The braziers themselves appear to be made out of melted down armor and weapons that have then been twisted and hammered together to form these braziers. And they're just got sort of coals, and so the room is like brightly lit, but in just around the braziers, and then it fades into dim. And between these alcoves is an iron altar traced with silver and shaped like a giant anvil. And it's underneath this round 10-foot diameter iron shield mounted onto the wall with the symbol of a broken arrow and a jagged arrowhead. And you can actually just see two Dwergar in robes, like standing there, like holding censers that they're like swaying back and forth, that are like billowing out the incense and haze around them. So that's what everyone sees. And then Alistair sort of just pops into the doorway, and one of them says, "The fight never ends, my child. Take what you deserve and destroy all who stand in your way." And to Alistair's eyes, he can see through the illusion of these two Dwergar priests and sees two sort of hunched, fox-like, fiendish creatures that are standing there, kind of wrapped in the illusion, covered in fur, tall, pointed ears. One of them has like a little pair of glasses sort of on the end of its nose.
Okay. I'm just gonna walk towards them and just speak in like Dwarvish and go, "Hey, I'll take a bit of time to pray at the altar, if that is okay with the priests."
Of course, of course. Be not ruled by emotion, for they are signs of weakness.
And
Know
then
your
as
role and perform it to the best of your ability.
I get close to them,
Yep.
hang on. Oh, which one is it? Oh, which one do Yugoslav speak? Right, I know Abyssal and Infernal.
So they should, Yugalos being Yugalos, and often working for both devils and demons, should totally speak both.
Okay.
You can, because this is like a, planar entities. If you want to know what else you might know about Yugalos and this kind in particular, you could make an Arcana check.
Okay, let's try that. Nat 20 plus 5.
Okay. You recognize these as Arcanoloths. So of all the Yugalos, these are spellcasters. They're basically relatively high-powered wizards who love magic. They love magic more than anything in the world. They like to collect magic items, to collect spells. They really tend more towards that than like corrupting people. They're very mercenary. Yugalos in general are pretty mercenary. Arcanoloths, like actually they speak every language.
Okay. So
and
I'm
even apparently have telepathy.
So I'm gonna sit down in between them and ritually cast detect magic while I'm like pretending to pray and be like, "Oh great, Ludgar!" And yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
ritually cast
So
detect magic.
all right. So I will have you make a deception check.
Okay, this is gonna go well.
And what is everyone else doing out in the hallway?
Waiting again. When shit goes south, we hop in. That's what
Pacing.
he's doing so far.
Pacing and throwing a dagger in the air and catching it.
That's a 12 in deception.
Okay. Opal, what's Opal doing?
I'm just like, I keep peeking my head out and just kind of keeping an eye on things, but not interfering at the moment.
Okay. So one of the priests comes over and sort of just rests a hand on your shoulder, Alistair, and just says, "You had the magic inside you. You look like the wizardy sort. You know, I think that we should take you to meet Bazrian."
Do you know? Well, and in Abyssal, I don't think that'll be a good idea since you're not really Dwagger, are you?
No, but this is really just a bit of fun. And of course, Fazrian knows exactly what we are. We're not hiding it from him.
When you're not hiding it from me, laddie. I can see your tiny specks. They're the same as mine.
Well, and he sort of just shrugs his shoulders. You know, it is what it is.
Would you take a glass of ale with me while we sit down and have a conversation about what we're going to do next?
Well, I think we can have a little bit of a conversation about what we're going to do next, but I'll pass on the ale, thank you.
Okay, let's have a conversation. So,
And they sort of like, they perch, so everyone else can see them perch into, and does anyone speak Abyssal? That's outside. So all these conversations happening in different languages. But Opal, when you keep periodically peeking your head in, you can see these two Dwergar priests like pop up casually onto the altar and just sit there, sort of facing inwards towards Alistair, who is like, squatting on the ground. And they're sitting there like very casually.
So Aximus and Excremus, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Hey, my name's Alasdair. Nice to meet you. You know, it's... Hang on. I'm just gonna keep talking to you and all this stuff. So, well, I just quickly look through my spells just to make sure that I actually know what spells I might have to do in case, But now tell me, why are you helping out Fazrin? I mean, he's the man of heavens coming down.
Oh, we just offer him advice.
What kind of advice?
Well, Alistair summoned us, and so we're bound to serve Alistair.
Now, I'm sure you got better people to serve than a mad mage. Am I right?
Well, when a wizard such as yourself, or more powerful like Alistair, knows the right pacts and invocations, it becomes a little difficult to not honor what we were summoned to do to the best of our abilities.
Well, what if there was a way to free you from this pact with Halaster?
Well, then all bets are off, my friend.
And, you know, I want to help out you. I also want to help out the big green tyrant dude. So, is there any way we can make an agreement so best benefits all the parties?
What are you suggesting?
Well,
I'm also sort of thinking that you here on your own is a little suspicious.
No,
You don't happen to have friends outside, do you?
I'm nearly 8 foot tall albino minotaur. Do I
Yeah,
think I have people with me?
but I don't think that the Dwergar, no offense, you didn't sneak by them, and I don't think you'd be here unaccompanied on your own.
I spoke to the Dwergar. I mean, I understand Dwarvish.
Can you make a deception check for me there?
Yeah, that's a 12.
Yeah, we don't really believe you. And they switch to
Hey,
common and just
that's what
yell
the show.
out, "Hey, friends of the big Minotaur Mage here, why don't you come on in and we can all be friendly like."
That's our cue.
I'd go in.
Ah, see, I knew you had to have friends.
Ava walks in.
Well, yeah, as friends. But, so, let's work out. I'll just, relate to the party. Like, we're trying to work this out in a way where every party gets a benefit.
I communicate telepathically and I say, why don't we just attack them?
They can, yeah, they know all languages and they can speak telepathically.
Yeah, I think that they can't
Not aware.
necessarily overhear other telepathic conversations though. So
Okay, so
As you guys are having this conversation, Ava's still like throwing up her dagger, and then she just like grips it and throws it at one of them, but like intentionally misses, so it's just flying past their head, just to like a warning shot.
okay. So it wings by one of them who basically then like snaps their finger out towards you, and I need to roll initiative.
counterspell.
Yeah.
17.
All right.
24.
I'm on an 8.
All right. And fish out in the corridor.
21. Yeah, still pressed up against that. He's the rogue's rogue. That came out in the open. Now.
Yeah, still pressed out. You probably just like hear like something whack into the wall, like the distinctive sound of a dagger. So Opal, you see this dagger fly, and then one of the two Dwergar priests like raise a finger and point towards Ava.
I am going to cast Hex on that one.
All right.
And then with my action, cast Eldritch Blast and have both of them attack him.
Okay, so all right, so you hex him. Perfect.
15.
15 does not hit.
Natural 20.
That one does.
All right. 10 damage.
All right. Yeah. All right. So as that blast crackles in and hits the priest, his form sort of shimmers and then shifts back into this sort of robed fox-like creature.
Sorry, I forgot the hex damage. That was 15.
Okay, excellent. And then that unearthly and unholy choir music begins to rise again, echoing through the room, and bits of blood start seeping out from between the tiles of the room and running down the walls. Fish, you now hear this ghastly choir music again, and like the crackle and blast of Opal in the room.
I'm spooked again, but the friends are in trouble. I'm just trying to decide whether or not I sharpshooter it. Look 'em up. You know what? No, I'm just gonna go regular. So a 28 to hit.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have enough d6 for this. I should have ran out and got more. So 12. Hold on. Yeah, 12 plus 4, 16, 20, 31, 33, 37, 42 damage.
Nice.
All right. And is that a magic crossbow? Remind me again.
It is, yes. It's +1.
Okay.
And then a 30 to stealth behind the other side of the doorway.
Yeah.
Just
So you
roll out. Roll back.
yeah. All right. So you roll you roll in behind the doorway. All right. So the one who raised its finger mutters something. Tim.
Counterspell.
Okay. What level?
Let's counterspell at 4th level.
Okay. So go ahead and make me an Arcana check.
Okay. 19 plus 5 so 24.
Okay. So I think yes. All right. So the spell fizzles out, and he curses.
And because of that, my arcane ward is now up.
Okay. Excellent.
So I now have an additional 36 HP.
All right.
Because you.
No. The ward is 36 HP. So I've got a magical ward now around me. But I remember that.
All right.
And remember, you can project it on your friends if you need to.
I will.
So the other one looks and sees the spell fizzle and says, "Well, that's unfortunate," and motions its hands into casting another spell that unleashes towards Alistair. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Yeah, no. That's an 8.
Yep. And 3 additional... no, 2 additional, because it can't see fish out. So another bolt leaps off of Alistair towards Ava and Opal. I need you to also make dexterity saving throws, please.
That's nice.
24.
Okay.
11.
All right. So Ava saved. All right. And I just realized I didn't have a whole bunch of dice out, so. Okay. So Alistair and Opal take 43 points of lightning damage.
Ooh,
That's
ouch.
halved for me because I'm resistant to.
Yep.
So that's
21.
okay.
Yep. And Ava takes 21 because they made their saving throw.
Here's a dex-based save for Ava.
It's a dex save, yet.
You're what, 8 levels of rogue?
Yep.
So you'd have evasion, so that'd be a none if you saved.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
Good
So
catch.
yeah, Ava dives out of the way and like tumbles across the room, while Alistair and Opal do the cartoon flashing thing as lightning penetrates through both of them.
Skeletons.
Yeah. And the Arcanoloth just says, "Pity, really didn't have to go this way." And it's Ava's turn.
Okay, so since I like did the evasion and I just like dived out of the way, I'm gonna just like make it like this seamless thing where like I dive out of the way and then I tumble and hide so that I can get it as cunning action, so I can get advantage on my attack because sneak
All right.
attack.
So you're in a so the room isn't huge. And
It's
there's
not huge.
No, and there's not a lot in it. But let's see. There's probably some pews. So,
That's what I was thinking.
yeah. All right. So yes, why don't you go ahead and make a stealth check for me, please? You can get the cover for
21.
free. That's easy. Okay, 21.
Do you still have Pass Without a Trace?
Is that still up? How long does that last?
It's 10 minutes.
So
I think is how long it lasts.
yeah, if
Or an hour.
if that let's check.
I think it's an hour.
If it's 10 minutes, I don't know how long Alistair was talking to them. But if it's an hour, then it's definitely still up. It's an hour. Yeah, so it's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a 34.
Although I think, just let me double check here when this comes up. Opal actually needs to make a concentration check because it's a concentration spell.
X is okay. I have advantage because I'm a warcaster.
Yep.
Warcaster.
Constitution, right?
It's Constitution, yes.
21.
21 just makes it.
Oh,
Wait, concentration for Pass Without a Trace?
Yeah.
For Hex.
I was the one who
Hex.
for
asked
Hex.
No, just do
Oh.
hex.
Oh, right.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yes. And yeah, for the hex. Sorry, I forgot who
Yeah.
cast what.
that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, so the hex is still up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you duck in behind a set of pews.
Okay,
And-
now I'm gonna attack one of the Yugoloths, the one with the awful glasses.
Okay.
That is a 26 to hit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's 10, 14, 15, 16 with sneak attack. 6, 7, 8, 13 normal, so what is that?
So
Math.
16 and 13?
Yeah,
Okay.
So-
Yeah, that was fine. I get them.
29.
Both. It's 29. Yep.
29. Okay, and then I have a second attack that I'm going to take on the same Yugoloth,
Okay.
and that is a 24.
Yep, that absolutely hits. You're
Okay.
just like peppering this one who's been eldritch blasted and shot.
And because he's already been hit before, I'm going to use my Colossus Slayer from Ranger.
Okay.
So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 damage.
Okay.
Nice.
Ow, 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 ow.
Yeah,
So just like
he's
2 arrows just fly into him, and he's just like,
and he's looking pretty rough. He is still standing, but he's taken a whole boatload there. And then you're sort of just like up above the pew.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can use movement to duck back down behind it, which would give you cover. But you've already used your bonus action to hide, so.
Yeah. No, I used my cunning action to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, which is what lets you hide as a bonus action.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. Okay, yeah.
All right. Excellent. So we're back to Alistair, who's like in the middle of these two, one of whom just got like peppered with a bunch of daggers.
Friends, this is
Oh,
This
arrows.
is-
Sorry.
arrows. Friends, I'm sorry about this. And I'm going to cast Shatter,
Okay.
centered on myself, and it's within a 10-foot radius.
Okay.
So it
All
should
right.
hit them both. So I'm going to need those two creatures to make a Constitution saving throw. DC 17.
Let's see their con. All right. One succeeds, one doesn't.
All right, so they take 14 points of damage if they failed, 7 points if they succeeded.
Okay.
And
All right.
it's like the horns reverberates and it comes out from the horns.
Yeah, and so as this like crashes out with this sort of like physical, everyone can see the air pulse out and ripple through them. The one who's got the 2 arrows, it's like every bone in its body is just pulverized as it gets like flung across the room, smashes into a wall, and just crumples. And the unholy choir music is getting louder and louder and louder in the room. And the other one is snarling and slathering, looking at you. Oh, this
Do
just
we have-
won't do.
Do we have to be like resort to violence all the time?
You started it.
No, you started it. You're gonna do magic.
It points that one.
Yeah, well, they're my friends. What do you expect me to do? I'm just gonna end my turn like that.
Okay. so it's Opal's turn.
All right. The one that I hexed, is that the one that is down?
Yes.
Okay. Is it dead?
Appears so.
Okay. I moved the hex over to the other one.
Okay.
And I'm going to do disadvantage on wisdom.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers. So
All
that's a
right.
wisdom saving throw.
Yeah. Let me just double check something here real quick. Okay. So that'll cancel out that. So wisdom save. And oh yeah, that definitely fails.
Okay. It's... So that's 12 psychic damage.
Okay.
And it must immediately use its reaction if available to move as far as its speed allows away from me. Not that we were that close together because I didn't engage in melee.
Yeah, well, it can't really get any further away from you because it's sort of at the back of the room.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. And that's my turn.
All right, so lost. All right, so this, even though it is the middle of combat, oh, there we go. We've got Morrigan back. Excellent. And I'm gonna have to rearrange this. So since it is a little after our time we would normally take a break anyway, even though this is in the middle, we're gonna take a quick break here and get everything sorted, and we'll be right back in a few minutes, folks.
Sounds good.
right, everyone, welcome back. So, Opal casts Dissonant Whispers, and the Arcanoloth is like pushing itself back against the altar, sort of clutching at its head a little bit and saying, "Make it stop! Make them stop! I hate that spell!" And is like pushing itself back. And then it's Fish's turn, who I guess is like behind the door frame.
I got him. So yeah, hearing Alistar trying to reason with them again, it's gonna pop out in some like low dwarvish voice, just scream, "No mercy!" and take it. So that is going to be 16 to hit.
16 will not hit.
Are you sure? Because I wanted to.
I
Dive
mean,
forward and hiding under the pews for 28, so 38 with pass without a trace. Again, can't attack, but I can hide.
So yeah, your shot sort of ricochets off the wall, sending spatters of this blood where it's bleeding out. The choir resonates through the room. Alistair actually probably understands it because it's like abyssal music sort of rising through the whole room.
Hey, it's the sound of my people!
And then Fish dives in behind one of these other pews. And the Arcanoloth disappears. There is like a flare of magical energy. I know what you're going to ask, and it is a magical ability, but it did not cast a spell.
Oh, I was going to ask like if it's like just he turns invisible or something.
Oh, okay. You don't see it cast a spell, but you do see like a pinpoint of light sort of flash as it disappears.
Oh dear. I think we might have alerted the guards. This is not good. But
Was any of this good?
it's all about a matter of perspective. I mean, the music we're hearing right now is quite lovely, really.
I think it's a little haunting and disturbing, but that's just me.
No, it's not. It's not just you.
Okay.
Well, it's in abyssal. It sounds much better in its normal language.
I'm sure it does.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And after a few like seconds of no like violence being enacted, assuming that so we break out of initiative and you're talking with one another, the music sort of starts to fade out.
Well, I guess just to clarify from what Tim was asking, it's just disappeared. It's not invisible walking around, is it?
So would you still have had true sight?
yeah, it's just 1 hour concentration.
It's not concentration?
Not
So
concentration.
yes, it did not turn invisible. It vanished.
Okay.
So presumably
I
it
should ask, 'cause
teleported.
I also have
And you
lots-
said with like some sort of light and it just vanished, kind of like when you turn off a like that like when you turn off a TV and it just like blinks out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Is the other Arcanoloth's body still there?
It is.
Guess who's going for shinies?
Good lad. Yeah.
Did we kill the one with the glasses?
Yes.
Okay, I grab his glasses.
Two,
The glasses on the rifle.
two things I want to clarify.
Yes.
One, he didn't go into the ethereal plane, did he?
No, at least as far
Okay.
as you can see in with true sight. It totally
Okay.
vanished from your sight.
All right, okay. And do I notice any secret doors hidden by magic?
That is
Oh.
a good question.
I have a wand of secrets.
Yes. Let's
Excellent.
find magic.
So you're surveying the room with true sight. We'll go deal with rooting around in the remains of the Arcanoloth. As like you feel like a big bulge of something in the robes, Fish.
Sorry.
It's in the torso. That
Okay.
helps clarify things. We're
Wouldn't
not
be a
yet
game
at
with
Variant
Dan
Rules
if
After
something
Dark.
didn't happen like that.
We're not yet at VR After Dark. This is PG. We're firmly in PG-13 territory.
I was just waiting for somebody in chat to type, "Ooh, what's this?" They are foxes. But yeah, I will grab this unsuspecting torso bulge.
It is a big, heavy, but shiny covered book.
A big heavy butt.
Book.
Yes.
Book.
It's a big,
Ooh.
heavy
I like the
book.
shiny part of it. The book part's kind of less interesting. And
Um,
if I flip it open, what is it written in Common or Orin?
no. It definitely is full of like gobbledygook and diagrams and arcane sigils. You've been around enough stuff in your career as a thief that you're pretty sure this is a spell book.
Some minorly disappointed squawks, and then he'll just kind of hop over and hand it to Alistar.
What's this, lad? Oh my! Oh, this is grand. Do you want the cover?
I was gonna ask that, yeah, to clarify. Can I like pry off the shiny parts of the cover, or is it all part of the binding?
No, you could like section it off if you
Right.
folks take the time.
Yeah, I hold it. You cut it.
Yeah, take out my little dagger, start just popping out the shiniest bits.
And I'm just gonna look at the papers and shove it in the sporran.
Absolutely. Oh.
Ooh.
I am sure Morgan's going to be back momentarily,
Yeah.
so I'm just going to leave it as it is. You can only see half of our faces.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Magic
You're-
doors.
Yes, and so that's with the true sight. You don't see any magic doors. When you cast Detect Magic, is that concentration? It lasts for 10 minutes.
It was a ritual 10 minutes concentration, yeah. So that would have.
Yeah, you probably would have failed the saving throw
Yeah.
with the. I mean, you could make it if you want to see if it's still up.
Well, yeah, I get advantage on it because I'm a warcaster.
Yeah. There's a DC 21.
Oh yeah, I made that.
Okay, so that's still up.
Yeah.
The shield is glowing with enchantment magic on it.
Okay.
The big 10-foot wide, like iron symbolic shield with the holy symbol of Ludiger on it that's hanging above the altar.
Enchantment. Right. Enchantment. Okay. I'm gonna ritually cast Identify on it to see what kind of enchantment, like if it's gonna be positive, negative, or whatever.
So you can cast Identify. Let me just double check something here.
If it's a magic or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use
Yeah. So
acquire
it's not like it's not a magic item. It's more that it's like a cursed item that
Okay.
bestows. It seems that it alters people's personalities.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
good question though.
Yeah.
A lot of that in this dungeon.
There is. I got a
Yeah.
real good question though about Identify when you cast
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Do you have
yeah,
to touch
I just realized it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm touching it.
Yep. So you gain.
What do you want me to make?
You don't make anything. You just gain the following personality flaw as this bit of magic
Okay.
seeps
Okay.
into.
Hang on. Description. Flaws. What's my new flaw?
I take no joy or pleasure in anything.
Oh, that's something that can be like restored.
There couldn't be
out of him.
anything more like changing of your character than that.
That's a load of rubbish. Load of crap. Anyway, let's go. Bloody hell, that's not even. Oh, right. Can I say how bad this is for me now? My
Yes.
personality is I'm driven by a wanderlust that leads from home, and yeah.
So you're now driven by a wanderlust still, but you can never find any pleasure in it.
Christ alive.
So
Uh,
you're doomed to forever walk the earth, searching for a joy that you know you'll never find.
Isn't that bloody poetic for a Scotsman? Oh, right. My advice, there's nothing good in here. This is no good. Let's just, let's go deal with this. It'd be nice to find something, but you never know these days. Hey, pass me some of that baccy if you would, Ava.
She hands some to him.
This not what it used to be. Just spits out in the corner, stomps around in a hoof.
You okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Life is devoid of meaning and joy.
Today.
Oh, yeah. Just stomping around.
Meanwhile, still like sort of going through the robes of the Arcanoloth fish, you do find like assorted odds and ends tucked away in little satchels here and there. There's like mostly gems, but there's some coins. We'll say it's about a total of like, including the book cover, 200 gold coins worth of like just assorted crap.
I'm rich.
And meanwhile, the walls are still bleeding blood, which is then like slowly pooling and forming these like viscous puddles with like that skin that hardens on the top, like pudding on the floor.
It's bleeding scabs.
It's more like just like that skim, like when you let milk sit and it gets that skim on top where it starts to solidify.
I'm gonna pick up the skin and just eat it and see if it brings me any joy.
No, it tastes like copper and sadness.
Light me alive now. Sadness and copper. Did you find anything good there, fish?
Just like occasionally holding up gem found. Gold.
Okay. I don't know whether to be more concerned about the Yugoloth that just disappeared from existence, possibly, or the sudden change in our friend's core personality traits. Because as annoying as the perpetual optimism is, I kind of miss it now.
My advice, friend, don't touch that thing above. Don't do it. It's can't worth it. Not worth it. Don't do it. That'll be fine. Maybe. Who knows? I may want to go kill things now. That might bring me joy.
Yeah, well, the thing we were supposed to kill just kind of disappeared, and I don't know if we have a way to find it.
Sure.
Do you think I could expend a ranger spell slot? Because it technically doesn't give me a direction, but you did kind of give me one earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So to maybe like kind of sense where a fiend might be.
Yeah.
Okay, so expending a spell slot to use primeval awareness again.
And yeah,
Do I
'cause
only
forgot
sense
this.
the other two, or
No, you still sense 3.
okay?
And yeah, I did sort of just like a vague. It's in the vicinity. It's close by.
It's close by.
Yeah.
Still in the temple, like maybe like
No, not that
hidden.
close. And
Okay.
I mean you can't quite tell, but
Yeah.
not
Okay.
that close.
But closer than the other two.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they seem pretty scattered.
Okay.
While you're doing this, you start to hear this like shrieking sound echoing down from the corridor that this is in. Not like human shrieking, not like humanoid shrieking, but some like bestial screeching sound.
Well, that's gonna be fun, isn't it? Wherever that is.
I mean, it sounds like something we can kill.
Just gonna
Let's go try and kill it. Wait,
preemptively dive under a pew.
It is getting closer.
Should we run to meet it, or should we wait for it to come to us?
I'm gonna step
Wait
in
for
the
it to come to us.
doorway and just scream
Opal?
down the corridor.
I'm gonna try to hide behind one of the pews.
Okay.
Ava's gonna do the same, but maybe like on like
17.
an opposite section.
Okay.
Let's see.
And Fish, what's Fish doing?
Oh yeah, Fisher. As soon as he heard the shrieking, he dove under a pew.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand in the doorway and just scream, "Will you shut the hell up?"
And my stealth was 22, Dan.
Okay, excellent, thank you. So in the corridor, the shrieking starts to get louder, and then you can start to hear this like clacking, clittering sound of like some sort of hard object like skittering on the stone from around a corridor and coming closer.
That's not a bad sign of anything.
I said, keep it down with you.
And Alistair, as you sort of peek out and look down the corridor, then this long, monstrous, huge shape sort of like barrels around the corner, like crashes into the wall, and then starts moving quite quickly sort of down the corridor towards you. And you can see this long, sinuous, segmented shape covered in hard plates with what looks like dozens and dozens of little pincer-like legs clickering down the floor, and this like flared almost hood that moves up around its head with these dark black eyes, a fanged mouth, and these large, almost insect-like antennae stretching out of its head as it barrels towards you down the corridor.
Right, we got another problem.
At this point, like hearing it, like how big it actually is, I come out of stealth and I leave the shrine and enter the corridor with Alistair, bow at the ready.
All right. So it's just barreling down towards you.
Hey, look, I'm just gonna head towards it.
When it gets within 120 feet, I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast.
All right, so are you gonna also leave hiding and like go out into the corridor?
Yeah.
All right. So Fish is still like underneath a pew in the altar, just like everyone's going out into the corridor. Like, what's this then?
I mean, I'll just position in the doorway again, looking into the corridor.
All right. So as it surges forward and gets close in the corridor, go ahead and roll initiative again.
Hey, that was crap. That's an 8.
I also got an 8.
23.
21.
Okay, so let's see.
Friend or
23.
foe?
21, Opal, and then it was an 8 for Alistair and
Yeah.
Ava. I'm assuming Ava has a higher
I'm assuming.
dex.
Yeah, I got a 3.
Wait, you have a 3 for dex?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes, so Fish, like, this creature is just barreling down the hallway directly at, you know, your friends when you're peeking out. It's sort of blue. It's got these orange, like, conical spikes running down its back. And,
I think I know what this is over the table. But yeah, so just gonna like aim to shoot at the big underbody of it, like through Alistar's legs,
mhm.
and just taking a shot with a 39, no, 29 to hit. Sorry, I almost get myself plus 20 to hit.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
So that'll be, ooh, I like that. That's a lot of 6s. So 24, 29. 29, 33, 42, 48 points of damage. Right. I'm really bad at math, but that's pure rogues for you.
Hey,
I'm essentially rolling 96 plus 5 damage.
all that sneak attack though.
And then hiding again, 25.
Okay, so you pop back in around the doorway.
Should even roll for something I can't roll below a 25.
Yeah. All right, and it continues barreling down the corner. And Opal, it's your turn.
All right, 2 Eldritch Blasts.
I'm just imagining like Alistair a little bit ahead of everyone, like planted the big
Yeah.
Minotaur, and people are just like popping out of cover and around his legs.
First one is 17.
17 does hit.
Sweet. And that's another 17.
Okay, excellent.
Oops, that fell. 9 points of damage total.
All right. So it sort of impacts off its carapace and it screeches. Alistair, what is your size category, by the way? Are you medium just with like the big build or whatever?
Have to count as large.
I can't.
I think the Minotaurs in 5th edition are medium.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't find it anyway, so I'm assuming it's.
Yeah, I think they don't give any PC races large. They give the large build or whatever, but
Yeah, I haven't got that as a feature, so.
okay. So yeah, definitely medium. Okay.
Yeah.
So it like crashes into you and goes to bite with this big slathering mouth.
Okay.
What's your AC? Oh, that's a 23 to hit. So
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit me.
yeah, as it just sort of like it barrels down and then like lunges forward.
Ugh!
That does 40 points of piercing damage.
Okay. That's 40.
10 points of fire damage.
Wait,
And you
wait.
become
Hang on, so that's 40 halved.
yeah,
Resistant to all damage, that's 20.
and then another 5 because 10
And then-
halved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you are grappled,
Okay.
which you are grappled and restrained,
Okay.
and it then let's see. Wait, is there no? Okay, yeah, okay. So you're like in its mouth, and it's sort of like coiled around you and has you all bound up.
Hey, this is fine.
and it's just like this faintly acidic saliva is just oozing across your flesh, and like hissing off of your fur. And of course, the unholy choir music rises again, as the sounds of violence permeate the area, and it's Ava's turn. What are you doing, Ava? Oh, yep.
I am
firing with the
shooting
bow.
it with an arrow. Actually, first I'm casting Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shoot it with a bow. So that is 17.
17 hits, yes.
Okay. So it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage.
Okay.
And then second attack, that hits. It's 3. $12 damage. Colossus Slayer, that's 13 damage.
Okay. All right, so it starts getting peppered with arrows. It's like tossing around with Alistair grappled in its jaws, screeching. Little bits of like blood and ichor are seeping out of it. And it's then Alistair's turn, who is currently grappled.
So I'm grappled and restrained.
You're grappled and restrained.
Right. I'm just going to quickly check.
So your speed becomes 0. Attack rolls against you have advantage. Your attack rolls have disadvantage, and you have disadvantage on dex saves.
Okay, right. I'm just gonna be like, I'm kind of inside his mouth, aren't I?
Yeah, basically, like your jaws clamped around you.
Okay. In case anyone, I don't know what's gonna happen next, but stand back, just in case. And I am going to cast Shatter at 6th level. Actually, no.
Okay.
Hang on. 5th level, because I haven't got a 6th level spot anymore.
Okay.
It needs to make me a Constitution check at 17 with disadvantage if it's made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal.
No, it's flesh.
Flesh.
Ooh. That's a nat 20.
Oh, right. So it's going to take half. 68.
Still going to be a boatload of damage.
68. 1,
Ooh.
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that is 29 points of thunder damage.
All right. So this like erupts, and everyone can see the shock wave like ripple through the creature's head. Some of its like armor plating carapace like gets blown off and like smashes against the walls, but its jaws are still locked tight.
Hey, well, that was I tried that. This is just going fine. And I have my turn.
All right, so we're back around to Opal.
All right, I am going to cast Toll the Dead.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom save. Ain't gonna do very well on that. 12 is not gonna succeed, I'm pretty sure.
No. All right. And it's already damaged, so that's
It is.
3d12. 11. So 13. And another 11. So 20. sorry, 13 plus 11 is 24.
24. Yeah. Okay. So it shrieks in pain. It's like shaking its head back and forth as this sonorous bell resonates underneath the unholy choir music that is echoing through the space. And, ichor is leaking out from the cracks, but its jaws are still clamped tight on Alistair. And it's Fish.
Right. Feel pretty confident. I'm going to aim for one of the spots where the armor plate came off and take a sharpshooter shot.
Okay.
So that's 21 to hit.
Okay.
It is a lot of damage. So 12, 15, 17, 17, 29, 36, 42, 52 points of damage.
Nice.
All right. So the bolt slams into the creature. It squeals in pain, and it's like thrashing around, heavily damaged. The ichor is just leaking out of it.
And then, not that it matters, but 33 for stealth to hide again.
Okay. And then it tries to bite down on Alistair. And that's going to be a 28.
I'm going to cast shield anyway.
Okay.
At first level. Because that will slightly restore my arcane ward. Yeah. I regain HP twice level of the spell, so I regain 2 temporary hit points.
Okay.
And then how much damage do I take?
So this will be halved. It would be 25 total.
Okay.
After it's halved, but then you are swallowed. So
No.
it sort of like tosses its head back and unhinges its jaw as the giant minotaur is swallowed down its gullet.
This is fine.
So you become blinded and restrained, but you, as a bonus, you have total cover against any attacks made against you from outside the creature. All right, and then it's Ava's turn.
Alrighty. So my buddy just got swallowed.
Yeah.
How big is this thing?
Huge.
Okay. So what do I got?
What are you thinking, Ava?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if there's like some creative way I can try and get him out of there.
Yeah, just chop him in half and we'll just squeeze him out like toothpaste.
Yeah, problem is I dropped my short sword over after I killed a Dugar. So my chopping is not really a thing. I guess I'm just gonna keep trying to kill this thing.
Okay.
There's no way for me to really hide. Where are its eyes? Can I like try and get out of its field of vision to gain advantage?
I mean, it's a corridor, so
okay, not really.
Yeah, it's got full view.
Yeah. Okay. Well, backing up, I guess. So I'm just like not as it comes closer and shooting arrows at it. Come on. That's definitely hits. And 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for the first attack. Oh, come on. That's does a 24 hits, I'm guessing.
Yes, absolutely.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 22 for the second attack.
Okay, so yeah, so your 2 arrows this time, which both smash into the creature's face, and it sort of just shakes its head and screams as this ichor splatters the walls of the corridor, and it thumps forward down onto the ground. And
Oh,
the choir
perfect.
music begins to fade.
Are we still are we off initiative now?
I have a way to get out.
Yeah,
Because I was gonna run towards it and then just pull out my dagger and then just start cutting at it to try and
I'll pull out my rapier and help.
yeah. We just start carving at it with sharp implements.
And actually, once it collapses, it's sort of like its muscles all slacken and loosen, and so Alistair is no longer restrained.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do my way I was gonna get out anyway. I'm gonna cast lightning bolt at 4th level.
Excellent. All right. So you managed to get your hands up just enough.
Oh no! It comes out of me. It comes out of me horns.
Yeah, but to make the
Yeah.
somatic gestures.
Like, this is just really annoying now.
And then it arcs through. The smell of cooked flesh permeates through the whole corridor as it
That's
just
some
sort of
chunky
like
salsa, right? It's all over all of us.
it just spatters everywhere. There's like big gobbets of half charred meat and flesh.
That was not bringing me joy.
You're all right there, Alistair?
I'm fine. What the hell was that?
It's dead now. That's all that really matters, isn't it?
Fair point. I'll grab a bit of it and eat it.
That there is from somewhere a cackling voice seems to just like whisper in, and it just says, "Just one of my pets as a gift."
It was a crap gift, mate.
You've got like bits of your fur like singed away because you were in these like acidic stomach juices.
I'm gonna cast prestidigitation on myself and get rid of all this crap.
Just hopping in, completely clean. Didn't experience any of the gore.
Yeah, just like imagine like the shampoo adverts where it's just like a breeze is like blustering and cleaning up crap. And Alistair's like, oh, 'cause I'm worth it.
I was thinking the exact same thing too. Because he's worth it.
I'm here for these hair flips.
Just hang on. Ugh. Right. I could do with that's gonna take this a few minutes just to regain some spell slots. If that'd be okay.
Yeah, I think maybe just like set up shop camp in the shrine.
Hey, if you wanted me to, depending how long you wanted to rest, I could do as a private sanctum for 24 hours, but that's depending how long we wanted to rest.
I mean, it'd be nice to get a full 8 hours of sleep if you catch my drift.
I'm fine.
What was that, Opal? You said something that I missed.
I could use a rest.
Right, so if we wanted to, I could do private sanctum. And then we can have a nice rest and get a long recovery and eat some of this garbage which we've just killed. I don't know. I'm leaving up to you guys. I don't really care at this point because there's no joy in whatever I do.
That sounds like a fine plan.
Right, so I'm just gonna try and center myself and ritually cast Mordenkainen's private sanctum within the area of this majestic temple.
All right, I was gonna say, are you doing it in the temple or the hallway?
I'm doing it in the temple.
Okay.
Just like inner peace. Let's have this sanctum. Not only this crapkin, no music, no voices, no people coming in and eating me and just. So my idea of like him just walking around now is him just being very angrily stomping around and casting this. And
he's like a cranky old man who's just like, none of this.
A cranky Scotsman. So
yeah.
No one teleporting in or divining where we are. We're just coming in and being safe.
All right. Yeah. So I'm guessing you're doing like the whole kit and caboodle, like the whole
private sanctum.
All right. So yeah. So all sound like fades out, other than what is in this room. Sort of shimmering across the doorway, it becomes dark and foggy, and even those of you with dark vision cannot see through it. And there is a whole bunch of other stuff that blocks teleportation, planar travel, and divination.
Yeah. And nothing can pass through. It's all, we're nice and cushy right now.
I mean, I think anything that wants to can just like walk in. They can still walk in through the doorway. It doesn't have a.
That's a good point.
They can't see in because it's occluded, but they can walk through it. The barrier doesn't provide like a physical barrier.
That is a good point. Yeah, he's got.
You also cast like alarm or something?
I can cast alarm.
Yeah, let's just do all of it. Let's make it nice and safe. Hang on. Alarm is a divination spell?
Good question.
You can cast it right outside of the barrier.
If it's a divination spell, that's fine. It's fine. That's good. We're good. Thank you, Matt. We're good.
Yeah, it's abjuration.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so at least we know when someone's coming near us.
Yeah, and you couldn't cast it from outside because then you wouldn't hear it.
Hear it inside, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the sound blocking is optional, but Alistair declared it.
Yeah, I'm not having any of this weird music or creepy music.
Any of this music that comes in through.
We've had enough of that for a while, and when we're inside, I'm going to create a bonfire in the center and goes, "There's a fire! Come around and warm yourself. It's not going to do much good for me."
Is this with the bonfire spell?
That's a good point.
I'm actually more just thinking that the technicalities of lighting a actual fire that will produce smoke in the enclosed space.
Does it create smoke? Does it?
That's why I'm asking if it's the spell or a physical bonfire.
It's the cantrip.
The create bonfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a magic bonfire, so it doesn't need fuel to burn.
Yeah.
So
There, warm yourselves. I'm gonna take a nap.
and then it goes out after a minute when he goes to sleep. Actually, I think as soon as he goes to sleep, because it's also concentration. So this like cube of fire sort of appears and it roars and everyone's warming around it. And Alistair like starts to drift off and it winks out. All right. But yes, otherwise you make the place secure, or at least as secure as you can, and you go to rest. And that's where we're going to wrap up for the day.
I was having so much
Is this
fun.
counting as a long rest?
Alistair,
Oh,
yes,
long
yeah,
rest,
I'm
yeah.
assuming you're going for a long rest.
Yeah.
And we'll wrap up just a little bit early, a few minutes early, to give a little bit of lead time before the Dungeon World one-shot that is happening starting at 5 Eastern, so right after this. So we'll wrap a little bit early and finish this next week. So thanks, everyone, for playing as we delve into the realm of this corrupted fallen angel. And we'll go around and let everyone remind us where they can find you and what your favorite moment of the game was. And we're going to do the reverse order, starting with Star.
So my Twitter handle is at MadRadStarChild, and I think my favorite moment was when we were talking with the prince.
Yeah, he was pretty fun. Excellent. All right, Tim.
Hey, I'm Tim at Anonmoth on all the social medias and interwebs. You can find me here next, in the dungeon mode. And then on, I think there's a conversation about Monday possibly for Mage again, but definitely next Friday on Encounter Roleplay, where I'll be playing another wizard who isn't Scottish but equally has a weird English native accent. And yeah, I'm more on Twitter tweeting stuff and things, and it's been crazy couple of days here for me, but so you thought that. I don't think I've ever been eaten in D&D. Died.
Yeah.
Never been eaten.
Yeah.
So
it's a good experience.
That's I'm checking that off my D&D
bucket list.
Been eaten by a creature. But yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. I had a feeling that you needed to experience that.
Yeah.
I just had this sense. Chad apparently does as well. Well, mostly Matt.
Well, mostly Matt, yes.
All right, excellent. Continuing around, Stephen.
Yep, I was Stephen. Follow me on Twitter, Stephen SDEPHEN, R Noel KNOLL. I tweet out D&D or any random stuff. I'll be back here next week to hopefully finish off this level of the dungeon and hopefully see you guys around more on VR if my schedule opens up and I can join more games.
Woo.
Excellent. Well, our community stream schedule will be changing anyway as we're wrapping up Mad Mage, because actually there might be one after because of a scheduling thing that happened, but technically next Sunday wraps like our main bulk. We still have levels 22 and 23, but we're doing those a little bit differently. So actually level 21 was the end of our 17-week run of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So next week is that last one. Yeah.
We have
favorite moment.
fun salt
right
marsh
from the
plants.
beginning? Sorry.
Yes, we do.
Okay, cool.
we'll let Steven finish, and then maybe we'll tease a little bit to the audience.
I just want to gush again over the first moment of Alistair just putting fish up on his head. Now I just want a buddy cop movie of those two just patrolling Waterdeep.
I had vibes of Master Blaster from Thunderdome for anyone who knows the Mad Max movies. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
But if I had, I would have been eaten. So I'm glad I didn't follow through with that plan.
Excellent. All right, and Morgan.
Hi, I have been Morgan, and this was a lot of fun. You can find me on Twitter at the FemDM. I talk about D&D, Magic the Gathering, lots of nerd adjacent stuff, and filmmaking because I'm an independent filmmaker. Cool things with me coming up is I will also be right here next for the Dungeon World playing with Tim. That's going to be so much fun. I'm excited about that. I've heard a lot about that game and I'm excited to test those waters. I also am going to be talking a lot about my experience as a Wizards of the Coast intern on Twitter a lot. So if you want to like get a cue into what that experience is going to be like, that's going to be a lot of my Twitter feed this summer. And also keep an eye out. I just wrapped the proof of concept for a short film that I was producing. And we're using it to try and raise money for a feature. The Kickstarter is going to be coming out soon. So if you follow me on Twitter, keep an eye out for that. I'm really trying to get this thing made. It's going to be really fun. It's a musical and it takes place at a funeral. So yeah, I think those are all my things. My favorite moment of the game was honestly just like pulling off getting away with poisoning the Duergar. Like, I can't believe that worked and that you let me make that work. And that was honestly I've done shenanigans in D&D before, but that was pretty freaking great.
Yeah, and then all these terrible adventurers like gaslit the Duergar. They imagined it. Wasn't us.
No, she definitely stabbed me. No,
We take care of you. Yeah, no. Although I have to say one of my favorite moments was Alistair like picking her up when wounded and like booting in the door, like yelling medic. Yeah, that was great. Excellent. So yes, I'm Dan at MadSciDM on Twitter. You basically find me here doing various things. I'll be back here later tonight in a few hours after Dungeon World, running Invisible Sun as the suns burn. So join us for some spooky, surreal VR after dark, gothy soap opera shenanigans. That about covers it. There'll probably be teeth and tentacles and all kinds of weirdness as we get into it tonight after not being able to play last week due to commitments in the gray. And yes, we have 1 week left of Mad Mage, although there may be an odd session the Wednesday after due to some scheduling things that we had this week. But Monday should be wrapping up the last session of the level that Corey is doing. Wednesday is with Sean, next Saturday with me. And then we'll be in a little bit of a lull. We're in the midst of scheduling levels 22 and 23 and what days they're going to be on and who the participants are, but expect the return of favorite characters that people like. So those of you who have participated in Mad Mage so far will probably have an opportunity to toss your hat into the ring, as it were, to bring back some characters to play those last two levels. And we're looking like Nat, I think, is agreeing to DM level 22, Shadow Dusk hold, and we should be bringing back Kyle, Techno Scald himself, inevitably to play Halaster Blackcloak with level 23. And then, yes, we will be kicking off some stuff from Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So we're in the midst of planning a bunch of stuff because June is a big month. We've got Pride, we've got Women in Gaming Month, we've got our community streams, and so we want to dedicate time to that. So we're in the midst of scheduling all of that and when things are going to launch. And then our community streams with Ghosts of Saltmarsh and other things going forward are looking like they will be Saturday early afternoon. So like around 6 p.m. Eastern time on Saturdays will probably be the time slot that most of our community games will fill. And we've got a whole host of other stuff coming up with a Ravnica game that is launching in a couple of weeks on Mondays in the Monday time slot. Thursdays, we still have my MCG mixtape that is Cypher System and Invisible Sun. Invisible Sun on Saturday nights. And I believe we're looking at some other content coming from Kyle and Technoscald and groups that are getting together and all kinds of stuff that we're going to fill it up. And if any of you are interested in running some games here, we're happy to help you do that. So we've got an application process for longer games and conversations we can have for one-shots and things like that. And yeah, so we're looking, especially through the week, if you're looking to do anything through the week, because our weekends are looking a little busy over the summer, but through the week we'll have some time. So I'm going to sign off. We'll give a little bit of downtime to people that are coming back shortly with Dungeon World. And stick around, and we'll see you soon, everybody.
Bye.